Welcome back. Let's take you to North Africa, where Egypt's National Election Authority has warned that eligible voters who do not vote in the ongoing presidential election will be fined 500 Egyptian pounds. Now, more than 59 million Egyptians are eligible to vote in the three-day presidential election that began on March the 26th. The country's incumbent president, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, is widely expected to win a second term in the controversial polls. His sole opponent is little-known head of the liberal Al-Ghad party, Mustafa Musa, who has previously said he supports Mr. Sisi. Two opposition candidates withdrew from the race amid allegations of intimidation, while a third, General Sami Anan, was arrested. A former estate agent in South Africa has been sentenced to prison for racist abuse. A court jailed Vicky Momberg for 3 years, with 1 year suspended for using a derogatory word against a black police officer 48 times. Her lawyer says she was not in a normal state at the time, as she had just been the victim of a smash and grab robbery. She is expected to appeal the verdict. But the magistrate, Pravina Raghunathan, said though some may think the sentence is harsh, but it is intended to signal that racism will not be tolerated in South Africa. Racism remains a major issue in the country almost 24 years after white minority rule ended. Meanwhile, South African officials have apologized to the King of Lesotho following allegations that he was mistreated at the two countries' border. South Africa's Foreign Affairs Minister, Lindiwe Sisulu, has offered to travel to Lesotho to apologize in person to King Letse III. There are reports that some Basotho people who are inhabitants of Lesotho may block the border crossing following the treatment of the king. South Africa's Home Affairs Minister, Malusi Gigaba, has gone to the border to deal with the issue. In North Africa, humanitarian officials and aid groups are seeking assistance for displaced persons and refugees in Uganda. This is meant to ease them back into their abandoned homes in South Sudan as thousands voluntarily return home.
Grace Kobong is among thousands of residents who once lived in Keji Town in South Sudan's central equatorial state, but fled their homes and farms when fighting broke out in the region. Grace has been living at a refugee camp in Uganda, but recently decided to cross the border to look for food back home. She's harvesting the tubers, which she plans to sell in a market in Uganda. Grace says she will also keep some of the harvest for her meals.
I plan to come here and settle. Ever since my son died, no one has been helping me in Uganda. He usually helps with harvesting the cassava, but now he is no more. I'm back here now to farm, looking for maize seeds for planting.
In Juba, the chairperson of the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, Manasseh Lomole, recently addressed participants at a seminar to discuss settlements of internally displaced people and returnees who are voluntarily going back to their homes. He called for support for displaced civilians who are considering returning home.
In most communities in South Sudan, relying on relief food is a taboo, is an insult, is humiliating, is disgraceful. So I want to appeal to you that you may help us in providing the means of production to our people.
With a constantly fluctuating currency, a medium bucket of cassava could fetch close to $5. Grace says what they get at the refugee camp is not enough, and the extra income has been a welcome bonus.
I am praying that God will help us so that peace can return, so that our people can come back, because we are really suffering there. It is difficult to get water. They bring a ton of water a day and each person gets 2 jerrycans. We just use it for drinking and cannot have our baths.
South Sudan has been racked by an ethnically charged civil war since late 2013. Pitting forces loyal to President Salva Kiir against rebels linked to former Vice President Riek Machar. The United States and other powers have been stepping up pressure on South Sudan to stop the war. which erupted less than 2 years after the country declared independence from Sudan.
Let's take you back to South Africa, where officials have apologized to the King of Lesotho following allegations that he was mistreated at the two countries' borders. Now, Bazukile Diko, a South African journalist, joins us now on the program to tell us more about this. Thanks for joining us on Network Africa. Well, it seems we've lost connection with Bazukile. Now, a Congolese choreographer and dancer has put his career on hold to help some of the world's most neglected refugees discover the healing power of dance. The artist, who runs the Congo Dance Company, goes around different camps in the country, teaching refugees to dance and boosting their self-confidence in the process.
At the Inca refugee camp in the Democratic Republic's North Ubangi province, residents get a chance to break from everyday life to enjoy a dance class. This Congolese dancer runs a dance and theatre company in the country, Congo Drama. He says he uses dance as a form of therapy meant to help refugees deal with trauma and help lift spirits at the camp. He works with a group of volunteers, and together they aim to teach refugees who have experienced war and violence how to rebuild their self-confidence and accommodate one another.
When I look at the effect we're having, how you can help restore people's desire to be alive, how you can give hope to hundreds of people.
His company, Congo Drama, has been conducting a 4-month dance, drama and music program entitled Refugees on the Move at the camp. Inca camp hosts more than 16,000 refugees from the Central African Republic. The program is funded by the French NGO African Artists for Development in collaboration with the UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency.
We tell them to keep believing in life, to keep believing that it's still possible, that there's hope for them. And it's me who... It's amazing, but we will continue.
More than 600 people attend a variety of courses, including children's dance, contemporary African dance, hip-hop, and traditional dance classes, among others. Congo Drama has trained over 1,500 car refugees, with classes catering for all age groups.
And that's the midweek edition of Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temi Tokwe Fagbe.